Can two developers make a great game in 2 weeks? I don't know. Let's find out. The first thing we had to do was come up with a concept for a game. That does make sense. I don't think you can make a game when you don't know what you're making. We threw around like a few ideas, but we'd been wanting to make another horror game, so we settled on a game we called the Black Forest Demon. The player would have to banish a demon by lighting a bunch of bonfires, and then make the demon chase them all the way to this banishment circle, which would send the demon back to some demon plane. I don't know. I didn't actually think about the lore here. The catch to the game is, of course, the demon is trying to murder you also. That is a problem. But you'll have some tools to deal with that. The first thing I started working on was the level. I needed to make a base landscape layer for this, using the Unreal Landscape Painty thing. I don't know what its official name is, but I'd never done this before, so I needed to learn how to do that, I guess. And because I don't like reading, I decided trial and error was the way to go. So I just messed around with the tools for a bit until I got something that I kind of liked, and had what I am going to say was good gameplay flow. First thing I need to do was put down some trees. I downloaded this environment pack thing that had trees and plants and grass and everything I could need. So I just grabbed some trees from there and did the painty thing, where you just paint the trees everywhere. And we're getting there. This is starting to look a bit like a forest. Next thing is this whole landscape is one horrible green grass color that needs to be fixed. There's a tool in the landscape thing that exists where you can just set a material that has a bunch of sub-materials, and then you can just paint the ones you want where you want. Again, fairly straightforward. I want this bit brown and leafy. I want this bit all sandy. Easy. You go around, do the thing. Nice. Perfect level. Of course, it's not the perfect level, because we need buildings and other bits and pieces to make it feel like it's not just some random forest. There's interesting things for you to see. Buildings were easy. Again, in the name of time, I only had 2 weeks after all. I just downloaded some buildings, and then you just Lego brick them together to make different structures. And I put some around the map, and they all look kind of good, I guess. There was one other thing I wanted to do. I needed to define a boundary to the level. Some of that I'd already dealt with a lake and some cliffs, but there were gaps. And I think the way to go was fences. So I initially started putting each fence piece down bit by bit, and then I was like, this is gonna take me a literal year. So it was time to learn about splines. It would turn out to be really straightforward. You just put the pieces and here's the code. Just do that, and then you can just draw a spline just along the edge of the map. Yeah, pretty good. Next up, foliage. So obviously trees count as foliage. I realize that, but I just painted a rough grass layer all over the place. Not everywhere, because some areas wouldn't have grass, like the sandy bits. And then I went and put some other bits in, flowers and logs and rocks. And it was actually starting to look like a real level, and someone who knew what they were doing had made it. Ooh. Crazy. Final thing, of course, was you can't get spooked in the day. So, time for some nighttime and fog. And now, guess what? You're getting spooked. Because, guess what? Daytime means spooky. I ain't never been spooked in the day. While I've been working on the level, Jamie had been doing the demon AI. So the first thing he did was just get it moving. So you need to set up an animation blueprint, basic behavior tree. And after that, you can start doing more fun stuff, like you got the monster to run away when you shake your torch at it. And then also attack you when you don't. So he'll run towards you and just give you a little munch, little nibble until you're not feeling so great. So these three basic functions are what drives that AI. He does some other fancy stuff, but basically he'll either be running around the level, kind of mysteriously, he'll be attacking you, or he'll be running away from you after you've scared him off. One extra feature I wanted to add to the game was zombies. They weren't a requirement for it to work, but they do one important thing, which is draw your attention away from the main demon. So you can be focusing on the zombies because while they don't provide a significant threat, they mainly just meander around, and then if you get too close, they'll attack and kill you. So you have to pay attention to them, which means you'll lose focus on the main demon, and then he'll be able to sneak up and spook you. I found a few things that we wanted to add to the game were voice lines, some sound in general, because there wasn't any. I think actually we had a roar for the demon, but that was it. And some menus and UI. All these are fairly straightforward things, to be honest. You just Google sound, pick a sound, add it to the game. Sounds great. For the voice recordings, I just go, another day, another demon. And stuff like, I wanted to light that bonfire real good. Easy. And that just hurts my throat after like 2 seconds from all the grumbling, but there's like 2 words I have to say, so it's really not that bad. And menus are really straightforward, it's just boring. It's boring stuff. You don't care about that? Maybe you do. I won't tell you what to think. But now that all those things are in the game, we have a finished game, and the game's now available on itch.io. Perfect. You should go play it because it's probably the best horror game released in the last decade, I'd say. Yeah. Better than Resident Evil 7, better than the PT demo. Yeah, really spooky. Good shit. So you should go play that, and it's free of course, so yeah. You've got no excuses really, you just gotta play it. Final thing is of course, subscribe to this channel. And leave a comment telling me what you thought of the video or whatever. Just subscribe.